Over its 300 plus years existence, Lloyd's has acquired many historical artifacts and documents which it simply doesn't have the space to display. These hidden gems tell the history of Lloyd's and have intriguing stories of their own. I'm Mac Castro, and I'm here to introduce you to just a few of these hidden Lloyd's treasures. Our first treasure is a letter, and it's linked to 18th century merchant and philanthropist John Julius Angerstein, chairman of Lloyd's between 1790 and 1796. Born in St. Petersburg in 1735 to a German family who had settled in Russia, he emigrated to England in around 1749. Angerstein became friends with several prominent figures of the day, including George III and Horatio Nelson. He was also patron to artists including Sir Thomas Lawrence, whose portrait of Angerstein hangs today on the 11th floor at Lloyd's. John Angerstein was an avid collector of major works of art. His collection included paintings by Raphael, Titian, Correggio, Van Dyck, Rubens, and Rembrandt. This letter was written after Angerstein's death in 1823. It's from the then King, George IV, to the then Prime Minister, Lord Liverpool. George IV writes, "Dear Lord Liverpool, I entirely approve of the arrangements as proposed in the letter I received yesterday from you. I am also most gratified that the country has become possessed by the bargain you have made of Mr. Angerstein's most valuable collection of pictures. I desire that you and Lady Liverpool will accept my best compliments in the present season of the year. Believe me, your very sincere friend, George IV." This letter is important because it approved the purchase of Angerstein's 38 paintings, which started the National Gallery in 1838. 1796, the last year of John Angerstein's Lloyd's chairmanship, is the year of our next secret treasure. It's another document, this time advertising the sale by candle, a form of auction of the good galliot, or ship, Catherine, at the new Lloyd's Coffee House. I'll explain where the candle comes in a moment. The print says that the ship is Dutch-built, weighs 140 tons, and is well calculated for coal or coaling. It's well found in stores, in other words, it's in storage. And for a small extra fee, you can have it sent out to sea. Looking at the inventory, we can see it comes with a full set of anchors and sails and rigging. And listed under carpenters' and boatswains' stores are 3 curiously named hand dogs. But what of the candle I mentioned? At property auctions, like this one at Lloyd's, a tallow candle made from animal fat would have a metal pin stuck in its side. The candle was lit and the bidding open. The highest bid at the fall of the pin secured the property. This custom gave us an expression we still use today. It's so quiet you could hear a pin drop. Candles are also the subject of our next treasure. The 18th century Scottish architect Robert Adam has a strong connection with Lloyd's. In April 1772, he produced 2 plans for a new Lloyd's coffee house. One design was for expanding the existing site, the other for a complete rebuild. However, the designs were felt to be too radical, and Lloyd's eventually moved into the Royal Exchange. Adam was also an interior designer and designed furniture and silverware. This candelabra, one of 4 such candle holders, were designed for Sir Watkin Williams Wynne in 1773. They are the only known silver specimens to be ascribed with certainty to Robert Adam. Look closely and you'll see some beautiful detailing of ram's heads and cherubs. The Adam Room on the 11th floor at Lloyd's is an adaptation of the dining room he designed in 1763 for Bowood House in Wiltshire. This sumptuous room is a beautiful example of Robert Adam's design work and can be viewed each year by visitors touring Lloyd's during Open House London weekend. This George III soup tureen dates to 1795. Its size is something to behold. 63 centimetres wide, imagine 2 A4 books side-on in length, and 45 centimetres high. The inscription on its side is dedicated to Captain John Hutt of His Majesty's ship, the Queen, who gloriously fell in the important action of the 1st of June 1794 when the French fleet was defeated by the British, or as we now more commonly know it, the glorious 1st of June. Our next treasure also has a naval theme. It's a letter written on the 3rd of March 1797. The writer was Captain Ralph Willett Miller. He's writing to his father, giving a detailed account of the Battle of Cape St. Vincent, one of the opening battles of the Anglo-Spanish War, 1796 to 1808. What is fascinating about this letter is that it is written both vertically and horizontally to save paper. If you were to type it out end to end, it would come to around 8 A4 pages in length. Here's how the letter closes. Having come to the end of my paper, I'm reluctantly, my dear father, obliged to take my leave of you, requesting you to give my kindest love and duty to my amicable mother, tenderest love to my dear Patsy and good old aunt, 1,000 kisses to the little ones, and best respects and best wishes to Mr. and Mrs. Dalrymple and all friends. Ever your most dutiful and affectionate son, R. W. Miller. And this letter is of real historical significance too. At the battle, Admiral Sir John Jervis, later Earl St. Vincent, led a squadron of 15 vessels against a far larger Spanish fleet. Commodore Horatio Nelson disobeyed orders and broke from the British fleet. He took on 7 Spanish ships, including the Centésima Trinidad, the largest ship in the world, and boarded and captured 2 of them. After the battle, Nelson was knighted and awarded his, already approved, promotion to admiral. Our final treasure is that icon of democracy, the ballot box. This one was given to Lloyd's in 1933 by a Mr. A. W. Street to mark 100 years of his family's association with the organization. It's made of burr walnut and is cross-banded with an enameled Lloyd's crest on top. On the front is a circular opening which is divided into 2 voting sections and painted yes and no on the front. So, for example, if you were being appointed to a position on the board of Lloyd's, your fellow members would cast their vote in secret by dropping a small marble or cork ball into one side of the ballot box. These would drop down into 2 small drawers where they would be collected and counted. If members voted against you, you would be labelled with an epithet that is still used to this day. You would have been said to have been blackballed. Thank you for taking the time to explore Lloyd's hidden treasures. To find out more about our history and about what you can see at Lloyd's during Open House London Weekend, visit www.lloyds.com.